Now, a lot of you guys have talked to me in the past and made posts on. I strip all my bare metal with these 24 grit sanding discs. Something I did for years and years. I've been a bodyman now 30 odd years, and this is how we used to strip panels of paint, fillers, all that type of stuff. We use these 24 grits, right? And a lot of you finds it very aggressive, and I've made suggestions of getting a stripping wheel, right? So I contacted Vevor, and they sent me one of these. All right, it's a sanding thing with large wheels, and we never had nothing like this. I've used these here, little small ones in the past for cleaning up stuff, and I always found them really good. But when I was in the trade, these were not available. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to see what this is all about. I'm going to experiment with this and try this out and see what I think of it. First thing I do is I'm going to put it all together. Comes a set of brushes and all the tools. I'm not going to bore you with all that here. I'm just going to go ahead and bolt it all together and just look at the most obvious stuff. I had a look at this earlier, and this here, if you can see, it's got a keyway in it. That's what these are for. And they goes in like so, like that. That's the way they goes. Or maybe it goes like that. I don't know. It goes one way or the other, and then that slips down over like so. And then that tightens up onto that. But I got to put this on first. So I'll get this all done. When it comes back, I'll have it all put together. So I got it all together. It's pretty well straightforward and simple. There is no directions in this here. There's all kinds of safety lists of everything in it. They call it a throw mill. So, but when you go through it, it just gives you safety things. It's worth your while to read all that anyway. And it just gives you a breakdown of the machine and all the parts, individual parts of what they're called. So that's basically what you got for way directions of how to put this together. Okay. So I got it all put together, and it's got you can lock the trigger on it. It's got a lock on it. Also got a variable speed, so you can speed up and slow it down, all that type of stuff. The one thing about it, and I'm going to see what I can do about it, this is designed, like I'm left-handed, okay? When I hold a grinder, I can use both hands either way, but when I hold a grinder, I prefer to hold it in my left hand, okay? So when I'm holding a big electric grinder, I hold it this way, okay? This is the problem I'm going to have with this here now, is that this here is set up for being right-handed. I'm going to use it like it is for now, and then I'm going to play around with it a bit and see if I can make it left-handed for left-handed friendly, and we'll go from there. So I got this all rigged up. Let's go find something to try it out on. So we're now back, and I brought in this old door here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to see what it's like stripping this door with this here and compare it to what I'm used to doing with the grinder, okay? So biggest thing with this is make sure you got eye protection on. And that wears ear protection. I like to always protect my ears. Some gloves on, just in case it gets away from you. Of course, plug it in. And let's see what this can do. Fills up a bit of heat. Turn the fan on here. Don't know how long one of them wheels will last, but we'll play around with it. Now, I got some rock guard down the bottom of this. That stuff has always been a pain. Gives you a nice finish, doesn't it? Gotta have patience for it, that's the biggest thing. I'm gonna see what else I can do with this now. I'm gonna see what it's like to take a filler off. And I got one other thing I want to check. One of the main reasons why I got it. So I want to check, see what that's good for doing that as well. Here on the front of the old 49 shaft, all this has been filled, and I'm going to have to strip this roof anyway. So what my plan is here now is I'm going to see what it's like for removing. There's some rust here, primer, some old paint, and some other primer as well. And there's filler underneath it. Let's see what I can do for that. One thing I'm forgetting to do is put a mask on. Hopefully you can still hear me. I got these masks on now. I should have said that in the first place. I had ear protection, eye protection. Nothing on me, no mask on. Bad habit. Old habits from an old bodyman. As you can see, that's doing an amazing job. I can live with that. It's not as aggressive. Now, if I was filling something, I wouldn't be able to fill over that there. That's not smooth enough there. If I was wanting to finish something off or just strip something down, it's great for that. But where I got to fill the roof on this, I'm going to have to rough this up more than this, right? But you can see how good it does on all this stuff here. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, I do a lot of this metal fabrication work, and I leave the cars in bare metal. A lot of people ask me about them rusting, and they do rust. You look at that there closely, you can see a haze of rust on that there, okay? This is the thing that I'm going to want to work on, is getting the rust off of this. You can see here on the trunk lid, you can see there's a haze of rust right here. All this metal's been worked and everything. I'm going to see what that's like for removing that. Well, look at the difference in that. This here has a haze over it all. And that there now is just a rub over at that. I was always having troubles with trying to keep metal bare. Like, I don't like priming and put paint on stuff when I'm working on it, because I always come back to it and stuff like that. I got to mix it up. I got to prime it. I got to set the garage up for priming, all that type of stuff. I said to myself, like, you can see, like, you got handprints. Every time you touch bare steel, it'll actually rust on you, right? Like, all down through here. And just got a little haze of rust over the top of it. But I know now for a fact that I can actually bring it all back up right nice like that there, right? Which is great. One of the main reasons why I got that tool, because I remember years ago when I was cleaning up and around doors with the small, we call them roll-lock wheels. That's just a huge roll-lock wheel. And we used to be cleaning up stuff. And I always found it good cleaning up small stuff. But I never ever thought of wanting to make bigger ones we can put on wheels and whatnot. So I've only come across them. I've seen them probably the last 5-6 years. And I've only seen them on YouTube and stuff like that. I haven't seen them around here. And I said to myself, a lot of you guys have pointed them out and said about trying it and how much cleaner it is and better finish you get on the metal and stuff like that. So I said, I'm going to give one of them a try. And I said, I know just who to contact on that, Vevor. So I went and got them. They sent me one of them grinders, and I'm very pleased with that. So you can see now all the dust and everything. One of the biggest things I had problems with these Rolex years ago is how fast they went. As long as you're not hooking them on an edge and keeping them on a flat surface, they'd work great. And they last a while. I've after doing a bit there now, and I've after, there's one that hasn't been tampered with. Right? That's how much I've after wearing off the Rolex wheel. So that there's going to last a while, I'm willing to say, for stripping a car or something like that. And I do, I got the one with all the, with a few extra ones. She came with 3, so they're going to last me a while. So, the only thing about it is that like I said before, I'm not fussy on that is a right-handed unit. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm looking at the body here now. I don't know about the wiring here or not, but I'm wondering if I switch the wiring around here, if I let go of this bodies of the screws and turn this upside down and put the switch over here, and then rotate it all the gear on this here to the opposite side over to this side here. Can I make it left-handed? So I'm going to go have a look at that. If it's really too much to get into, I'll scrap the idea. I don't want to go getting into void warranty or anything like that, anything like this here. But it's just one of those things that when you buy one of these, I've seen some of them that runs off the front in a gear drive setup, and it goes right off the middle of the front, and you can put the handle on either side. This one here just runs off the head, and it's got it off to one side. The problem I got is that I'd want this over here, and I want this handle over here for me to hold with my left hand. Okay, so I'm going to look at that now and see what I come up with. So here I got it taken apart here now, and it's got these 2 wires here that come out of inside this thing here. When I remove this here wheel and try to rotate it around, it gets a little bit tangly. Okay, to move these wires around. I don't know if I might be able to still do it though. Might be able to do it if I let them go, because that there pops out, and I can rotate them wires around. The problem I got is I got to refit them back into place again. So I'm going to lay that over there now, and just, there's 1 wire there, there's the other wire there, and 2 of these. Now they don't unplug from nowhere. They might unplug inside, but I'm not going in there to try that. No, not going in there. I'll leave that alone. And I'm just going to see if I can let this go, because all these do is just slides on over the sides of it here. It just pops off like so. Nothing holds it on is thing, so that's free there now. So I'm going to see if I can rotate that around the other side and put it back together. So here's what I got done. I now have it flipped around. It's on the opposite side. Before, this locking mechanism was over here, or the trigger was over on this side. Now it's over on this side. All I did is I took it off and I rotated it around. And what I did is I took this out. This only slides in place. These 2 wires here are the critical ones here that goes inside the body here. I pull them up out of there and rotate it around, and then I put them back in the same way they were, just at a different angle now, to come in through there and there. So they're still in the same place. It's just that they have a different angle on them now. And so everything goes back together, and it just pushes together like that. So now I can just put the cover back on it and screw that all back together. And now I got to make some changes up on this end here with the handle, and I should be able to use this left-handed. Now, as you can see here now, this is the right-handed way of holding it, and I got the button. This is all turned upside down now, so what I got to do now is change all this around. Now, the biggest thing with it is now, is the way this was like this. I got to have this here, so it looks the same way on this side. So this here has a tab that it gives it a little lock, a little spot for it to lay against, but it really doesn't touch it. It really doesn't lay up against it. So these here rotates, it just freely rotates, but it used to bring up there so it wouldn't rotate around. All I'm going to do is rotate it this way to here and then tighten it up. Now on the body, it's got a spot here. This is the one that was on before. On either side, it's got a spot to put this bracket here, okay? Now the problem with it is, just by turning the handle around on the other side, it's just got a little keyway here that falls into place right here. So you can only put it on one way. You cannot put it on this way here because there's nowhere for this keyway to fall in. So I'm going to put that on here now. And now I got it set up for left-handed, okay? Now, the only thing with it is here now is that you're going to find is the wheel itself is going to be rotating backwards. I noticed there was a lot of dust on the body when it was on this side over here. I'm wondering now that I was going to throw dust away, so let's test it out. Now I got it all set up here now for left-handed. I'm going to give it a try. So before this was pulling towards me, okay? When I used to cut this way here, okay? Now it's going to be cutting this way. So I don't know if it's going to be harder to control or it's still going to work just as good or whatnot, but I wanted to have it so comfortable. I'm comfortable holding a grinder like this, okay? Because I'm left-handed, okay? So I'm going to turn around and see what this is all about. You can feel it pushing on me as it's turning, right? And but this, I get used to. I'm used to that with a grinder anyway, because when you hold the grinder on the left-hand side, it's rotating the same way anyway. Well, that'll work just fine for me, right? Anybody comes along as right-handed, I can just change it all around again. That's no big issue. And I never tampered with nothing. I never unplugged nothing. Never cut no wires. Nothing. I just took out 4 screws, rotated it around, made sure the wires were laid in place again where they were before, screwed all back together again, and flipped this stuff around here. And that there is adjustable to move around on the body of it anyway, right? So, but yeah, it's another little cool tool add to the list, I can tell you that. A lot of you guys, I've seen guys using them, and I've never had a chance to, and I got one now, and sometimes I wonder why I could never ever do without something like this. It's a cool old machine, right? But if you're interested in something like this, I got promo codes at the end of this in the description. If you want to support the channel, go. If you want to order one of these, and just go over and use the promo code, and they give you 5% off of the sales of these. So it's a cool old tool. I'm gonna find out what it's all about. I'll use it and really give a good going over. And if there's any issues with it, I'll be telling you. I can tell you that now. So anyway, I'm gonna leave this one here. I hope the tips were good, and until next time.